Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
AWS.amazon.com is what you use for coming here. You will say AWS Management Console. So you will get this image, this page for logging in. So there are two. I will show you about different users and things on IAM. Let me get logged in, then I will start this. 1 second. Let me log into this account. I am logging into my account for you to have a demo how this looks like. You will be given access to the labs. Using that labs, you will also have provision to see these services. All right, I'm logged into AWS Management Console. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So this is how Management Console looks like, and if you want to see what are the different services available, you may just click on this drop down, and you will get all these services available on on this Management Console. So again, the categories which I have mentioned, they are categorized here. Compute has these many services, storage has these many services, database has these services, and then blockchain, if you want to use satellite based services, quantum technologies, management and governance of applications on AWS, analytics, security and identity and access management, and all things which are related to the compliance management will fall under this category. Mobile, AR, VR, machine learning, you have some services. So this is how your AWS Management Console looks like. And so in the foundational services part of this course, we will look at compute, storage, databases, and networking solutions here in using, yeah, network is VPG here, right? If you are going through developer certification, you will understand these services, CodeStar, CodeCommit, etc. So this is one way of accessing AWS, which is your management console. All right. And then there is another way of accessing AWS, which is your CLI. Give me 1 second. I'll show you how to access CLI as well.
Sorry, one question. That Ohio is on that right region, right? So why is it set to Ohio for you?
I have deployed services there in that region, so there is no
Okay.
specific. I mean, if it's something which, if you don't select any region, AWS will select some region which is closer to you. If you
Okay.
want to change, you can change the regions here. So I had
Okay.
deployed some services earlier, so it is selected as that.
Okay.
So using CLI, also you can access AWS services. If you have it installed, yeah. installed, so I can use that AWS S3 LS. So if it is connected to my account, it will list the S3 bucket elements. Yeah, it does that. So it is connected to my account. So for that connection, you will have to configure your CLI, and once you configure that CLI, you will be able to access. You will be able to copy files. You will be able to delete files, etc. Anything. Again, that's not part of this course discussion, but I just wanted to give you some first-hand experience to how your developers can access that using CLI. You can still go through that. There are different separate courses for that. Okay. If you want to list elements of a bucket, you will say ls bucket name. What are buckets and all? We will talk about that when we come to that discussion. But this is one way of accessing your management console. All right. Let me come back to the presentation. Let's do a quick knowledge check. What is the term used for physically distinct group of data centers within a region?
Availability zone.
All right, nice. True or false? There are more regions than edge locations.
Not true. I think edge locations are 100
More.
plus.
Yeah. Nice. True or false? AWS owns and maintains infrastructure required for application services. You provision and use them as needed.
True. True.
Yep. True is coming here. Okay. How do availability zones in same region differ? Availability zone, same region. How do they differ?
Isolated means any application if we we have to
Yeah.
post it in different availability zones and it's isolated. So if one of it fails, others shouldn't be affected.
Yeah. So that's true. They are isolated and they are still connected. Even though they are isolated, they are connected with some low latency links, and that doesn't have to have a dependency on the other availability zones. So if one availability zone is down, other AZs can still function independently.
Right.
All right, that's yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. We are done with the first module in which we have spoken about the introduction and history of AWS. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll start about the second module. Give me a minute. I just have some. So in the meantime, if you check your emails, did you get email on labs?
I didn't get any.
Okay. Let me do that for you as well.
Okay.
You will get the labs using which you can carry out these exercises.
Okay. Till when will we have access to those labs?
By the time we end our course.
Okay. Okay.
Till the end of the day probably, or maybe till 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Right, let's get started with the module 2. So this module will be a sort of foundational services based thing, and this will give you some good amount of exposure to the core services what AWS provides. So in this module, we will talk about EC2, which is your cloud compute cloud, using which you will create your VMs. And then we will talk about VPC, which is your virtual private cloud. And after this, we will have a lab in which you will build your VPC and launch a web server. And then we will talk about storage services. One of that is S3 and then EBS, Elastic Block Storage. What is EC2? Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, they call it as EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. So the reason it specifies something, anything which is elastic here means that it is it can grow, it can scale for you. It is elastic in nature, and this provides you elastic compute. So your compute capacity can grow. So that is why it is mentioned as resizable compute capacity. It gives you complete control of your computing resources. So EC2 instances are virtual servers in Amazon's data center. They are designed to make web applications scale computing for you and make things easy for you. With AWS EC2 web service, you can obtain and configure capacity with minimal friction. You can create any capacity-based applications. You also have complete control of your computing resources. You can increase your resources. You can reduce that if you want. You can it allows you to run your provisioned compute capacity at any point in time. So at your provision, you will have this capacity, this compute capacity, and you can run that from any at any given point in time. You can scale as many instances as you want. You can reduce your instances. With this EC2, it reduces the time to obtain and boot new servers. You can quickly scale capacity as per your compute requirements. All right. And by default, you always pay for what you use. Amazon gives you option to pay as you use. So some facts about EC2. EC2 scale capacity as your computing requirements change. You pay only for what you use. You have an option to choose from Linux or Windows as per your requirements. You can deploy these EC2 instances across different regions on the AWS infrastructure. You can also tag these resources using tags so that you can manage your resources as per your convenience. Choosing the right EC2 instance type, this is your choice. So you will be given an option to choose different types of from different types of servers. So EC2 provides a wide selection of instance types which are optimized for different use cases and different workload requirements. So you can have as small as a server with 1 gig of RAM, and you can have as big as 72 gigs of RAM, and any scale, multiple cores. You can go for a single core or maybe quad core. So all those options are available at your disposal. You have to consider these when you are choosing your instances. What should be your core count, the core number of cores you want? What should be your memory size, which is your RAM size? What should be your storage size and type? Storage is your hard disk which you provide to your VM. What should be the storage size, and what should be the storage type as well? Storage type indicates that whether you are using SSD or HDD. So there are different storage types. And then you have to consider network performance and CPU technologies for your applications, for your VMs. So these are the things which you have to consider when you are making choice of EC2 instance type.
One question. If one instance is created, can we later modify all those types after it's created?
So you have to turn it off. If you are changing anything on the VM, you may have to turn it off and then restart it.
Okay, okay. So it will then the changes will be effective once we restart.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to maybe change the number of cores, you can do that. If you want to increase the RAM, you can do that, and it will
Okay,
affect. Yes, it will be affected.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then for you to make a right choice in the type of instance what you want to choose, Amazon provides you different EC2 families. Sorry. So EC2 families are sort of different families which are for different purposes. Like you have general purpose is one family which is good for balanced workloads. It gives balanced proportion of everything. And then there is this compute optimized which is used for high performance computing, where compute is your priority. You will go for this family. Memory optimized is one family where you get memory optimized VMs which are good for high performance databases, in-memory databases, etc. If you want to spin up your database, or if you want to spin up your in-memory database, you will go for this thing. Accelerated computing, if you have huge GPU intensive workloads like machine learning or 3D rendering, you may go for that family. And then storage optimized is for IOPS at low cost. So AWS provides a wide variety of compute instances for you. Then there is this Intel Xeon scalable processors, which is also coming as part of one offering in the AWS families. It provides you up to a 28 core CPU, 6 memory channels, 48 PCI lanes, up to 100 gigs of network bandwidth. So in Xeon family, you have these. This is just as a FYI information. You may not have to remember everything. So in Xeon family, you have this scalable processor family, then processor E5 processor family, E7 processor family. I haven't used any of these, so maybe I'm not. I mean, it's not a day-to-day requirement that you will select a specific family of resources, but yes, you have things at your disposal. If you compare that C5N family sizing choices, you have this comparison. I'll just walk through from this slide, not very crucial. So always, as I told you, the fact which we have to understand from this is there are different types of instances in different families. You have to have your appropriate judgment in choosing each of that. So let's start looking at how to launch an EC2 instance using Management Console. So for you to do that, first you have to determine which AWS region you have to do that. What will be your region, and then you have to decide what EC2 instance machine image you will use, which AMI you will use, and then you will choose an instance type based on your CPU requirements, memory, storage, and network requirements. These are some things which you have to consider. And lastly, you will have to configure the network, IP address, security groups, storage volumes, tags, and key pair. So these are the things what we have to take care when you are doing this. So these are the steps I can say. So let me just walk through on this thing. If you want to launch a VM, you have to go to Services, Compute EC2. So this is EC2 dashboard. And there is a wizard for you to launch instances. You can click on this in launch instance wizard, which will start you from the scratch. So first step would be choose the AMI, which AMI you want to do. Okay, so it has given me some suggestions to use. So by the way, there is something called as free tier in AWS. If you are not aware of that, free tier is something which gives you 1 year free services to some limited capacity. Some services are forever free, some are for a limited usage thing. I can talk about that, for instance, here. AWS free tier, if you navigate here, there are some services which are always free. There are something which is free for 12 months. There are some trial versions if you want to see. Look at this. You get 750 hours of EC2 compute capacity for a month. In a month, you can run approximately 750 hours for free. And similarly, on storage, you will get 5 gigs for free for 12 months. With this request and put capacity, get capacity, you will have 20,000 requests, which will be free. 2,000 put requests will be free. Then RDS is there. There are a lot of things you may just want to read across all these things, but I wanted you to get awareness of this free tier so that you can always create an account for yourself and start using this for an year approximately and get a good first-hand experience on all the services of AWS as per your requirements. Let's come back here and see what are the AMIs which I have at my disposal for me to choose from. There is something called as Amazon Linux, using which I can create a Linux instance. That's Amazon's own Linux AMI. Then there is the Red Hat, Ubuntu, SUSE Linux. Then you have Microsoft Windows Server. You have several AMIs, different types of AMIs. Ubuntu is there, deep learning, a big list of this. Okay. So I will choose Amazon Linux SSD volume. This is free tier eligible. Okay, I'll choose this. Then choose an instance type. So you have selected the AMI now. You have selected the image. Now you have to select the instance type. What should be your instance type? So there are I told you about the families, right? So family list is here. You see storage optimized, memory optimized, general purpose. Okay, so these are the different families which are available. General purpose T2 micro, it's eligible for free tier. It gives me 1 gig of RAM and 1 core. I'll select this. It gives me 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM, and storage is EBS only. I'll select this. Now I will give the number of instances. I mean, these are some configuration of details which I have to provide. How many instances I want of this VM? I'll go only for 1. Under which VPC it should create? I have 1 VPC which is default VPC. No subnet so far. I'll just ignore all these selections for now and simply add storage. So for storage, I have root volume. I'll give a standards. By default, it is 8 gig. It is eligible for free tier. Volume type is general purpose SSD. If I change this, I provisioned IOPS, then magnetic. I'll not change it. Let me add some tags. No, I'll ignore tags. Then I'll say configure security groups. Yeah, so security groups you will configure to add some firewall restrictions. So who should be allowed to access this VM? So for now, I will give only one access, which is SSH access on port 22, and source can be anything. That's it. Launch this. So it will ask me if I have a key pair. If I have a key pair, I will choose existing key pair. Let me make sure if I have a key pair. 1 second.
Where do we get this key pair?
If you don't have it, you will say download, create a new key pair. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, for your sake, I'll do that. I'll say new. What is it? I'll say 2007. Download that key pair. Yeah, it's downloaded. Then I will have it for. I will use it for accessing my system. Then I'll say launch instance.
So later, if we create another instance, we can use the same key pair.
Yeah, you can use that as well. Yeah. So now your instance is getting started. You can click on view instances to see that. So now it started. Now if I have to access this, I have to log into this system. I have option for connecting. So these are the options which I can choose from. You can open an SSH client, give your key pair, and connect using the public DNS. Okay. So I'll do that. So for me to do that, I'll first copy the public DNS. Then I'll come to my console. It has SSH client. I'll say SSH. In downloads, I have my key pair, right? So I'll navigate to downloads. SSH-I. I have this key pair. Then I'll say EC2 user @ Then I'll put the DNS which I copied. Yeah, this is the format you have to use for connecting to your instance. SSH-I, give the key pair information. EC2 user, by default it will be EC2 user, and this is the DNS. Click on OK, enter. So it will ask me if I want to establish this. I'll say yes. Permission denied.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.